So what we will use for this project is some, I guess you would call these tile scrapers. I don't know. Pull any old tile off we need to. Some mortar. And tiles. So first thing is we'll wheel out all of our tile, which we do have these handy wheels. Sometimes I take a hammer to it, but actually the method of just throwing it works pretty well. Okay, hold your ears. And that curve goes with that. See, that one broke into some interesting pieces. It's kind of like a puzzle. The side pieces always go pretty well in the corners. I might replace this one with this so the colors will be mixed. And we'll find another piece to go in here. And the colors right here. So those are the smaller tiles, and we'll break them up later. Sometimes the breaks will cause these little craters in the tile. I take snipping tools and just cut that out so that it doesn't splinter. Close your ears, it's another big piece. I like that shape. And that's a curve, so we can use it on one of the curves up here possibly. There's kind of a curve there. Doesn't have to be exact. But we could actually even meet up at the end of that one and then add some color in here if we wanted. And that one only broke a little bit. My granddaughter says again. There we go.
I love this piece. See how nice that curve when you break it. Our hand sometimes, and intentionally you can't get that through the curve. That's pretty. We'll take it too.
So this broken piece fits that curve very nicely. As you can tell, we can just even put that up against it. It's okay to have two white pieces together, but the idea is to scatter it around. See how it works out. As you can tell, some of the lines are being made. Curves are being together like a puzzle in a lot of ways. I like to get the edges first, but it's not always it. Sometimes you just need a hammer. And you can it's actually just break it in the cart. Some nice long pieces for the edges. I like to just break the edges off. Because it leaves an organic big stone that I can place in the center, because I do like to have some big stones that's kind of got rounded areas. So I'll follow this white line. Can you see it? There's a white line I've added there so that I can put color around it. And sometimes when they break really cool, like puzzle pieces, and can actually form those around the same piece of tile, so that it has a nice little look to it. So that'll be pretty when the colored stones are placed around it. That way we can put those there, I got that corner off too, so that now it looks a little less like broken tile. Oh, that one may need to come off right here. Little nicks. These little nicks are not bad, and I just like the way my hand feels against the tiles, and when I wear gloves, it's just it just doesn't feel right. So that's why I put up with the little scrapes and cuts, and it's not a big deal. Okay, if you don't like messes, this project might not be for you, because what I like to do is line the edges with smaller pieces, just like you would when you're doing a puzzle, so that when you see a piece that looks like it would fit somewhere, you can just simply pick it up and place it. Now that might not go there, and all of these might not be permanent places. They'll be moved around quite a bit, but I'm just simply trying to get an idea of how much more tile that we're going to need for this project. So it gets real messy before it gets better. As you can see, we've made a pretty big dent in our tile. And there's still quite a bit more. It's possible we won't even have to go back to Home Depot or Lowe's. This is all left over from the catio project, so I'm trying to use what we have here. This piece has a pretty big straight edge, so I'll place it along the edge. I'm not ready to do the colored pieces yet, but I'm just going to show you that here's a piece of a plate that was broken from the catio project, and it has a nice curve to it. So I find a curve that it will kind of fit, and that will be the beginning of this color right here, through here, from here to here. So that works pretty well. We'll see if this one breaks with a hammer. I don't really want to use these lines, so however it breaks is fine. But yeah, those are some good straight edges that we can place along the edge, and it can go wherever. But it's a pretty piece. In the meantime, here's an old chandelier we found online from France, and Tom got it rewired. It's pretty.
19th century French.
19th century France. We don't know where we're going to put it yet, though.
I like it in the garage.
Yeah.
I think it adds a certain je ne sais quoi to our garage.
Yes, it does. I just want a picture of us
That's what
all.
I had to do, is I had to print out the
And I'm
lyrics.
here. Yeah, this is better.
There you
I
go.
like the chandelier. I think that adds a nice.
I know, it is.
I'm doing a little tiny. I'm doing a tiny video. There's Dave, Marie, and there's Tom, and me. That is the chandelier Tom repaired. Our ukuleles. We're just learning some songs. With Dave.
There you go.
You choose to leave us fall alone, but if you fall alone. If you stand, then who's to guide you? If I knew the way, I would take you home. Da 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 da.
We'll separate all of our colors. Separated. Okay, digging through Tom's old rock collection to see what we can add to our courtyard mosaic. And just like we did the catio, we collected rocks from different places and added them to our mosaic in the catio. We're going to do the same thing here. And these are
pottery shards, some from North Alabama, others from New Mexico, out and around the pueblos, Acoma, between Acoma and Chaco. The rope pottery like that is probably 1,500 to 2,000 years old. This stuff with the painting on it, the white clay, is probably in the 700 to 1,200 year old range.
we have some of these we dug up in Arkansas in 2011. 2011? It's 2011.
Yeah.
2010 maybe. 2011. So we'll add some of those. There's even an old glass marble. I don't know if we'll add that. And some chicken bones that are hundreds of years old.
Couple of arrowheads from like the Creek Indians, down there in the Tennessee River Valley.
We like to have fun with it.
And this is an old basket weave piece of pottery where they actually wove a basket, fill it with clay, and then burn the basket off.
And some selenite crystals. That looks like carnelian.
Milky quartz probably is, yeah. A little desert rose, some moss agate, a slab of moss agate. Just general little interest points to add in.
These slabs at Home Depot, Chrysocolla, or
Amazonite, whatever it says.
Amazonite, some smoky quartz. Good dog. I'm going to walk. Look at these people's yard. Very pretty. Their garden. Okay, it just rained, and so it kind of messed up the idea that I might start on this little walkway right here, which is all pea gravel at the present time. Yes? Oh no, these little June bugs. Come on over here. Get out of the, oh dear. Here, look. All of you June bugs, you just get into all sorts of trouble, don't you? Anyway, like I was saying before that June bug incident, you can tell we're going to need to build up this area. It's like standing water, so we'll have to add some concrete, a layer of concrete, before I start placing tiles. So Tom's in the garage working on levelers and some sort of barrier to put down here so that the concrete doesn't flow over.
The intention is for you to use this experience to enrich and deepen your ability to live a calm, centered, and peaceful life.
We have some low areas here that we have to fill in with some concrete, which we're using. Wow. We're using this to fill in our dips.
Since they got sharp points on them anyway, they're just
This is called what? This little plasticky
foam
stuff.
core.
Foam core, but it's not really foam, it's plastic. Then we're using what we have here, and we're just using some string to see where it's unlevel. Right?
Yep.
And putting this foam core up to keep the concrete from overflowing. Sort of laid down some edge pieces that we're going to have to go ahead and pull up. I'll go ahead and pick them up so that we can get concrete poured. Some of my flowers here. But anyway, lemons. We have 5 lemons. Yay. Our Quikrete in this large bucket we have from the shop we use in our pool. Oh, that needs to be cleaned. Anyway, we're going to pour it in this crack right here to begin with and just experiment. Hi there, so we're continuing our work on the courtyard mosaic. It's going to be an abstract mosaic, but this is not an instructional video. We're guessing and
Totally winging it.
we're winging it. So there are different ways of doing this. We could raise this concrete, which we don't want to do, or we could fill this in since we're covering it anyway. So that's what we're choosing to do. We'll see if it works out. A few things besides concrete at Home Depot. We have the plastic taping knives that we're going to use these as disposable concrete
Smoothers,
smoothers,
trowels.
whatever. And we got a trowel.
A real trowel.
A real trowel. So that and the concrete. And what else did we buy? Bought a rug, but that's about it. From this angle, my little vegetable garden. There's celery. This is radish and a carrot.
Yeah, that's much better.
We're just going to go ahead and pour it. See what happens. Pour in place. Here it is. Looks like it's going to work.
Looks like it to me.
Little leak there, but so there is our freshly poured concrete. We're just going to see what happens. See if it dries right.
A little crack there, but not much.
Okay, the first batch is cured. Now we come over. We're gonna pour concrete on this side too. Kind of the consistency of the brownie batter, right?
Yeah.
Are we still getting level-wise, you think? Yep. That's pretty level in here. Now we just want it to dry. Take a couple hours.
So it's the next morning, and this is our finished product on the little raising this area. So the next step is designing a little pattern of some sort to go along this area right here. Just gonna go right along there. I have some tiles laid out, but they're not permanently down yet. Okay, the next door there, resurfacing a pool. So it's very loud, but I'll try to talk loud. The whole idea here is to get kind of a nice design going, pleasing to the eye. Sometimes I let it take an organic approach just because that's what happens anyway. I start laying tile and then I start seeing more potential in design as you start laying. So not that long ago I started breaking the tile. We bought a lot of tile in big squares and as you remember, I just would drop them and let them break and form their own designs. It's you can do that. You can put the tile in a pillowcase and drop the pillowcase, or you can hammer the pillowcase. But I like just letting them drop and fall and creating their own unique little designs. The smaller tile I have to break with a hammer. I usually put it in a pillowcase in that instance. And we'll just break some more tile and start laying this down, and hopefully it'll form a nice little design. So I think I'll start here in this corner. You're gonna have to get it, you're gonna have to kind of wash all of that off, wash the leaves off of the walk. And we're gonna start down here. So it's kind of like a puzzle. I'll wash this and then I will start laying. That's a really great corner. So that's the way I'm gonna approach, is just, I'm gonna get my edges back in place after I wash it. Okay, that's pretty clean. It's not important that all of these tiles are up. As a matter of fact, I like to leave my tiles lying at the side of the walk so that I can choose, you know, like having all the pieces of the puzzle laid out. There's an airplane that's loud. Now, I'll just start placing tiles. And using the colored tiles, I will fill in areas with broken plates, broken tiles. I'll wash these off first, but here's a nice little plate. Just start playing. Broken up like this. Where you're going to place tile, we'll just add a little bit of concrete through here, or thin set mortar, and then place the tile on top once it's level. This little bird bath here that I'm just rinsing the pieces off with that. And sometimes you'll find a piece that just fits just right, like there's a little bit of a curve to that, and there's a little bit of curve to the walk, so that fits nicely. Gotta stay hydrated. To make a trip out in the garage to pull some things that we want to include in the walkway. Even some old shards of very old pottery and chicken bones. You can learn from my mistakes here. If you break a tile without taking this backing off, that's what happens. So, yeah. Don't do that. The stones, this tile was made in Portugal. So this little area, this little corner is starting to take shape. You can tell this, these cut slabs are also on this backing, so we'll have to pull those. Got some mail. Got some mail from Life is Good. See what it is. Oh, look. Yes. I want you to wash your hands.
That's cool. Life is good.
Ta-da. Come on. There we go. Aww, touch my hand. How cute. Now I gotta go wash it.